Welcome back to the EGF-based Invitational. We're here with our second match of this half of our double round robin, Marquette versus Villanova. And I hear Villanova actually just got out of a heated best of 5, so they are ready and raring to go with this next match, and they will pick up the first goal. God dang, I hardly finished my intro.
5 seconds out of the gate, they came in hot, and of course that probably stems from them playing that last game. They've got momentum going in their favor, I would assume, and of course they've also got a little bit of time played from beforehand. So they're hot, they're warm, they're ready to go. And of course, side of Marquette, last time they played Villanova, they lost 3-1. Will it be the same here, or will Marquette be able to get their sweet and tasty revenge?
We shall see. I'm uncertain. I don't know right now what the result of the last match that Villanova played was. But depending, there could be playoff implications for either one of these teams. Here, with that first goal, have that momentum advantage, at least for now. Of course, going to blast that one up towards the backboard. Ops going to touch that one a little bit off to the side. JFG carries that over top of one. 50-50 with the second, gets it in towards the net. Zeb makes the save. Nito is there for the follow. What a series of events, though. Incredible effort.
That was crazy. I did not expect JFG to get that initial touch, or that second touch rather, after that initial dribble, and put it right down onto the goal. Nito just got a great touch on it, almost put it a little bit too high and bounced it off the crossbar, but it was just in that little neat area and absolutely completely put it in. Now 1-1 apiece for both of these teams.
We'll make that 2-1 JFG from midfield, and I suppose, we should have known better than to say the score, because obviously
you've got a fair point there, my friend.
That's how it goes.
That is how it goes. The caster's curse at full swing. Now JFG, with one to himself as well, after the assist that he had to his teammate, is going to be able to put his team up 2-1 over the side of Villanova.
And actually getting this update, Xavier versus Villanova was the last match, and Xavier actually won that head-to-head, so they well and truly are getting back into this after those initial 2 losses that we saw on the broadcast. They did a fantastic job of making their name known. So Villanova currently sitting at 2-3. It's going to be a battle. They can't afford to realistically lose another match here. But we'll see how things pan out here. Only a minute and a half gone off of this first game. They trail by 1. It's going to look for a back pass here. It's going to fall to Nito. Close call there, but JFG in for the contest. Bit of a double commit on the defensive side. JFG the only one left back, and I'm a horse looking for the demo. Doesn't find it, but it could slow things down just enough. But Zen turned away. No defensive errors there. JFG keeping cool, even under the threat of physical play.
Looked like maybe a fake there from I'm a horse, but now back towards the other side. Passing towards middle. I'm seeing a lot of very quick offensive pushes from the side of Villanova, but yet their defensive quips have been extremely lackluster, and they need to redo a little bit. They need to adjust a little bit here as we get into about halfway point in this game if they want to go ahead and bring this one back. Need to be a little bit more aggressive. Need to have a little bit more in towards the infield for the pass plays. But remember, like we said before, Marquette did lose initially to Villanova, but they're looking for revenge, just like Xavier got the revenge on Villanova from beforehand. Hopefully that's not getting to them, and hopefully they haven't lost their mojo or lost their step and they can tie this one up.
What a nice save there by Nito. Beautiful pass coming off this back wall as well, so Villanova definitely still looking for it. They got that life they desperately need, looking for that playoff spot. I'm a horse passing to Zen, cut off by Nito again on the pass interference. Very well done indeed. Key part of playing in that defensive midfield area. We'll slow down here. I'm a horse going to pick that one up, sending it downfield. Ops going to do the same in the opposite direction. 2 minutes left on the clock. JFG now going for a ceiling shot. Might be a little bit too high, but does get a dunk there. We'll slow things down coming out the orange end.
They'll have an awesome opportunity here on the offensive side of things, but the way the side of Marquette is playing defense right now, they are playing very reserved. They're playing a lot more passive. They're not playing extremely aggressive on the forefront when it comes to the offensive side. This is because they have that 2-1 lead, but we talked about it earlier. You need to keep the aggression up throughout the entire game. That's going to leave a wide open net for Riles. Nova tie the game up 2 apiece with 1:25 left in the game.
And where is the third man here for Marquette? JFG all the way in the left-hand corner of Nova getting boost, and the challenger beaten out handily, leaves nothing back. And Riles able to put that second goal up on the board just under 90 seconds to go. We've got a tie ball game here in game number 1. And again, Villanova just got out of a 5-game series with Xavier. They did lose out, but they certainly would not be looking for another one immediately after. It'd be a lot of, taxing. It'd be a lot of, I guess tax is the word I'm looking for on their mental fortitude. We'll find out, though. Comes up by no touch from either of the defenders, and Nino making the falling save! Still having the presence of mind to get in front of the net and stop that ball. What a play on the defense.
Well, we talked about going for boost instead of ball sometimes and how that is a kryptonite of any team, and now it is going to be the side of Nova trying to play the defensive stops, and they will, but we saw it. When the side of Villanova was able to make that score, one was in the corner getting boost. That's $20 to charity right there. As an old saying of mine and my friends has been, of course, a couple other people in the Rocket League community, but great time to be alive is Villanova now tied 2-2. We've seen this very, very, very similar situation happen before, where one team was able to tie the game up actually at 2 apiece to send us to overtime the last time I believe we saw these two teams play. And it was the side of Villanova who made it work. Can they go ahead and make it happen again? 10 seconds is all that remains.
I find it very curious. We're 2-2 again. We've never seen a 1-1. Never seen a 3-3. Always 2-2. Final second now, going to tick off the clock. Riles with a banging clear into the blue corner. That's not even close to anyone. Overtime in game 1. It's Riles versus Ops on the face-off. For Villanova. Great quick passing play, but it's not fast enough. As Nito will get it away. The first 10 seconds have successfully passed. We may be in store for a decently length overtime. Depending on how this offensive goes, Villanova's still in control. Riles pushes to the back wall, and no touch by the defender. It's gonna trickle on through. Villanova take game 1.
Oh, that's got to be a heartbreaker for the side of Marquette. You've got a 2-1 victory for almost the entire game, and then you let one just slip in, and then they score 2 unanswered. It was the exact same scenario, actually, the first time we saw these two play in a series, but it was game number 1 where Villanova let Marquette score 2 unanswered to win the game in that overtime. And of course, it was a doozy. But now we got a game number 2 with Villanova having a 1-0 lead. If you're on the side of Marquette, what do you need to do to rearrange yourself in the next game, and of course change the momentum to get in your favor? Because both of these teams are now 2 and 3 for the side of Villanova. They're needing a win here in Marquette, I believe, still at 2 and 2. What are these two teams really going to have to do here to solidify themselves above one another and to try and make that push for the top 2?
I really think that, well, in this series in particular, obviously, overall, the top 2 is going to be a much more... It's going to be a much more broad debate, but I feel like that the number one thing that we need to see out of any one of these teams is much more midfield presence and being consistent in being there for the contest, because that's basically what amounts to, who gets the offense, is who is making the proper midfield contest, and especially it helps with that boost control as well. So an incredibly important aspect of the game that, isn't talked about as much as, say, rotations or backboard defense, I suppose. But that midfield presence can be ever important, and we've seen it have an impact on so many games. And of course, it's possible to win without having the shot advantage, but as a general rule, the team that plays more offense is probably going to score more goals. And here we go, it's Marquette striking first, ups off the back wall, reading that one all day.
All day long. There was a play I wanted to touch up on before. It was Riles. He had a little bit of a touch to save the ball back towards his net, and then he jumped off the back wall to contest Nito in towards the top of the orange side goal. That not only allowed for him to get the ball away, but it allowed for his team to rotate back because there was no one on the defensive side. He was the only one back, and he had to make a double touch just in order to make sure that ball couldn't go in. Still, though, with the side of Marquette, it does come through with the score.
I like another one there. JFG can't quite read the top corner. I don't blame him. It's a very difficult place to read. Nito blasting that one downfield. Then we'll get there in time, but it's off the corner wall. JFG for the follow. There's Ops ready to make another play, but it's blocked out by I'm a Horse. And he gets the bump on Nito as well. Great heads-up play. Now it's a 2v1 the other direction. Up high, JFG is there for the stop. And we'll get it a nice little bit away coming off the back wall as well. A beautiful transitional play, but JFG putting in the individual effort to make sure that one didn't cross the goal line.
It was a great transitional play, but it does fall apart almost instantaneously. I think it's going to be extremely close there as I'm a Horse goes ahead and puts it up top right corner. No one could even try to contest that. That just came so fast after the touch there, and no one had any time to react to it. Bounces down off the crossbar. Those are the shots that you need to be able to hit on a consistent basis. And right there, it just goes to show why Villanova can stay and cling on to these games even after going down 1-0 in a very early game.
It was a great pass from Zen as well, using the side wall instead of slamming it into the corner. Great vision in that regard, and that's a nice little doink here. Nito's forced to play it off the back wall. Miles in towards center, but nobody there. They sent down the other way. And now the real question for me is who's going to get set up on offense first? After this last goal was scored, Villanova tried to make a bid at it a moment ago, and it looks like they're going to try again. The offs will deny. Read by Zen up on the back wall, gets a second touch, pushing it over the midfield line, and possession's getting a little bit hairy here for Marquette, and they will not be able to get it across to the orange side once again.
Earlier in the stream, I talked about a little bit of how clears that are long and far to the opposition, yes, they're good, but yes, they are going to give the other team a chance to recuperate and get that ball back, and that's exactly what happens. Marquette had a long clear over towards that orange side, and that allowed Nova to get pushed up, force the rotations out of Marquette, get them out of position, and Nova, easy score right there, able to put it in, and of course take the lead 2-1 here in game number 2, leading the series 1-0.
And I was talking about those midfield contests a little bit earlier, and we could really see the epitome of what was going on there. Villanova was stuffing out the opportunity to get those long clears that are guided towards their teammates, and Ryle's actually just going to get one here right under the crossbar. Surprisingly enough, I did not think they were going to let this one through.
I didn't either. That was a nice little floater that he had, but I thought it was way too slow. JFG just came a little bit too far out in front of the ball, maybe mistimed his jump a little bit there, came just a tad too late and wasn't able to hit the ball or knock it out of the goal. His teammate wasn't able to, find his way back towards where he needed to play as well. Forces him out of position, out of rotation, and another goal goes for the side of Villanova.
And I think, actually, at the very beginning of that replay, I only just now remember exactly what I saw, but it looked like JFG was actually on the end of a bump from his teammate, so that could very well explain why neither of them was able to reach the ball.
Very well possible.
Rather unfortunate situation. We'll have to go back and check the VOD for that one. Could very well be what happened. Either way, Villanova will happily take that goal. Just under 2 minutes remaining now, and it looks like Marquette trying to get set up on the offense, but they're unable to do so. It moves right over the midfield line. And this is, again, one of those prime examples of that midfield contest, which is so important. You saw a good contest there by Marquette, but a Nova player was right there and kept it across the midfield line, preventing any sort of pushback from the defense. And now they have possession once again, coming out of their own corner with Riles. It will be touched way out to the side. Then we'll be able to contest. Shot towards the net off the crossbar and away. There might yet be a follow-up, but Offs is able to get it out to the corner before anything dangerous can happen.
It's popped up over towards the middle of the goal. Now it's going to be Ops who does take it the other way. But again, like you were mentioning, it keeps coming up. We keep seeing Villanova do better than the side of Marquette at those middle map contests, but Nito comes through with the pass from JFG to put that one in. Marquette trying to claw their ways back into this one, but they still are down 1 goal. They've got 1 minute and 4 seconds to make some magic work, but a great touch there and a great shot from Nito as it does fly on through.
It looked like it was almost an attempted pass to a teammate there by Riles coming off the side wall, but didn't have anybody in the zone. Nito will gladly take the opportunity. I was then demoing one in the backfield, but Nito cutting the rotation in order to make that contest at the midfield line. Very well done. Keeping his team having to play in a defensive spot. Now Marquette, another 1v1 ball. Horace taking down 2 players. Not going to let that happen. Not on his watch, at the very least.
That's a demolition derby out here, folks, but it is going to be the side of Villanova who hang on thanks to I'm a Horse making those demolition plays. And it helps their team out immensely. Now, going to have to be able to take this one out of their own side. One's going to be able to miss the shot, but now it's going the other way, and no one's rotated back, but no boost for Riles is going to allow Nito to push up, cut the rotation just a little bit short, and get that one back out towards the middle map.
Villanova just trying to stall for time here. No touch by JFG. We'll be able to rotate in through the corner, getting that boost, a double commit on the defensive side, and that one almost goes through, but just a little bit of influence from Riles right before the touch was made caused it to careen back to the blue corner, and JFG now has to go end-to-end with this, got the full boost pick up on a brilliant challenge there, and now things getting a little bit assy.
Wow.
in the corner, and Villanova. Wow, that was a close call if I've seen one.
That was that was about as close as I have seen all game long, all day long. I'm honestly kind of at a loss for words once again. I feel like this happened a couple of times today, but that right there, Villanova just escaping that match, escaping that game by the hairs of their chinny chin chin. That was interesting, but neither here nor there. That means Villanova does have a 2-0 lead over Marquette here, and are about to make themselves 3-3 while taking Marquette down to 2-3, and that's going to be very, very, very
impactful.
Impactful. Yeah, there. Thank you. Impactful on Marquette going forward.
And I did save the VOD for the last match. I saved the replay. And I want to see if that I'm sorry, if that third goal was caused by a team bump on the Marquette side. So I'm gonna go look at that later. But mark my words, we're going to find out.
Yes, we will.
That might have been a very important turning point for that game. And Zen unable to make a touch there that could turn dangerous, but Nito just doesn't have the boost. JFG for the follow, and I guess if it works, it works.
Oh, I guess you could call that one a fake. Maybe not intentional, but Nito goes up for it. Kind of spins around. I'm a horse, misses. Zen's not in position to make a stop on the second player who's already pushed up. JFG, a beautiful touch, and allows it to go right into the back of the net for the side of Marquette. 1-0 here in the first 20 seconds of game number 3. A game that they need to win and have to win to keep the series alive.
We'll be more than happy to close it out here, but oh my goodness, do Marquette have a say? Off with the back pass, it may have been unintentional. It sure looked like it, but it worked perfectly.
I'm pretty sure he just went after, yeah, he did. He went for the squishy save there, and then just passed it out to his teammate instead. A beautiful pass play, maybe not, again, not intentional, but it worked out almost perfectly for him. Actually, it worked out incredibly perfectly for them. Go up 2-0, another goal within 10 seconds.
Yeah, it sure looked calculated, but you couldn't really see much through the cloud of smoke that used to be a Villanova defender. Oh my goodness, Ops might have had a double tap opportunity. JFG just gonna put it down low. He got a hat trick this early on in the game. That's ridiculous. Nito still only has 6 points. Show him some love. What's going on here?
Oh, I don't know. All I know is that JFG is carrying the squad to victory right now with the help of Ops, his teammate, to go ahead and give him some assists. Only 6 points for Nito, but if you look at the side of Villanova, I'm a horse and Zen both only have 8 and 2 points. 10 points combined.
Well, dang. That's,
yeah.
I guess it's supposed to show how early things have really taken off in this game. And JFG, oh my goodness, such velocity for that shot. Almost gets the pass out to Ops, but it was blocked just before the shot could go on target. Nito trying for the Doomsday dish, it looks like, could not quite get around that ball. But you can tell, major change in pace here. Marquette, the ones who are conducting this game so far, with a ridiculous amount of pressure this early on, and that lead might just carry them through to the end. As I said earlier, it's not often that we see a 3-goal comeback with a minute and some left, but at the same time, you know, I would not be surprised if they were able to hold on to this 3-goal lead for the remainder of regulation.
Oh, if he would have got that over Ops, that would have been a clear, high-sailing goal, and that would have not been contested for the life of him until about 2074. JFG now trying to bring it back towards the other side. You know, it's still Villanova who have to make this comeback, right? And them having these lapses on defense and even lapses on offense is not going to help them out whatsoever. They've still got 3 minutes, so they can average a goal a minute, but that also means that Marquette can't score a goal at the same time. And with the pressure that they've had so far here inside of game number 3, trying to stay alive, not trying to go to a 2-3 record, this one, well, just might be in their favor depending on how it goes.
Yeah, and as you said, Marquette, they're still sitting at 2-2, so a series win here would be major for them in terms of trying to get that top 2 spot. Villanova want to keep them from doing that, so this is definitely an important match for Villanova to win as far as series are concerned. But Marquette keeping control of this ball. This one will cross center, but Zen already on the way back towards the orange side. This one will slow down a little bit here. Nito pass up towards JFG, sent back out into center, and Ops did actually commit for that one. You can tell Marquette want to keep the pressure on. They're not willing to play the safe game and just allow the opponents to hit it to them. They are actively making pressuring touches in order to slow down Villanova's opportunities to get out of their own end.
Although JFG has the 3 goals for the side of Marquette right now, we can't take it away from neither Nito or Ops. Both of these guys have been facilitating this ball every single time. Ops has been the one who has been playing the last one back the majority of the time, and I continue to watch him. Not only is he playing the defensive side well, but he's setting up his teammates for every single play that has been made so far like that. Even though he might not have an assist for it, he's always in the play in some sort of capacity, no matter what. Again, last one back and clears it out, so the side of Villanova can't get the touch in the goal.
Speaking of that dunk, just a moment ago, I believe it was actually. Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous.
Pass from Ops.
Oh my, I can't seem to remember who it was, but either way, it was a pass from Ops. It was an amazing dunk coming out of the backfield, though. And Villanova, I'm noticing, looking at the scoreboard, they seem to lack one particular stat that is vitally important to winning a game of Rocket League. And McCormill, I'd like to see if you can figure out what it is.
Well, you see, there's zeros in 3 different categories. Obviously, one would be goals. The second would be assists. But the one that I'm seeing, the biggest thing right here, is they have no pressure on the offense. That's going to be the shots. They have 0 shots on goal throughout this entire game, compared to the 9 from Marquette. That's 5 goals. All that Villanova has is 3 saves at 1 apiece, zeros in all of the rest of the categories. That's donuts for 3 different things.
That certainly is. Donuts, goose eggs, whatever you call them. I mean, it's still portrays the same thing, but they're going to get their first shot on target here. Unfortunately, it's not a goal as Ops out of the way. There you go. Finally got that one shot, but they have 50 seconds to gain 5 goals, which in my experience just doesn't happen ever. So, I think I'm about ready to call this game number 3, but an impressive run back by Marquette, to say the very least. But I almost feel like Villanova now, they've got all the chance to adapt for the next game. They might be spending these final 30 seconds not trying to, you know, make scoring opportunities happen, but look for opportunities of approach. And they're just trying to figure out their game plan overall. And so, not focusing on this game might be the best strategy for them at this point.
That's really all you can do, right? When you're down 5-0 or you're down by a big deficit, if you know you still have another game and you already have a comfortable 2-1 or 2-0 lead, now a 2-1 lead, you can still kind of take it with a little bit of a saving grace. Like, okay, guys, we might not have done great this game, but they got off to a very hot start. Chances are they won't get off to the same hot start again, and then we can play our game and allow them to play to us. But they got a 3-0 lead right off the rip, and that allowed them to play somewhat recklessly throughout the entire game, not really having to worry too much about Villanova going down there scoring or really having to have any pressure scoring moments for this out of Marquette. So right there, again, JFG with 4 goals, 3 assists from Ops, and a save for him as well. But the shots, 2 compared to 10. You're going to win the game every single time, most likely, as long as you're converting on those shots.
That's absolutely true. And Marquette now, so much pressure, though, I have to say. The advantage seems like it's theirs moving into this next game. Although Villanova only has to win 1 more game in this series, Marquette was just so solid in that last match. And now that they know that they can afford to make that risky offensive play style, they're probably going to do it. Because there's very little actual risk in this, but a lot of potential reward.
Couldn't have said it better myself, but already off the rip, I said they probably weren't going to do it again, but I guess you can call me a liar. I guess that's the caster's curse right there, coming at you live once again. But JFG, a beautiful touch right off the rip. And of course, if you guys are just joining us now, Marquette is going to be in the blue on the left side, and on the right side, it will be Villanova in the orange. Villanova up 2-1 inside of this best-of-5 series. But the last game was ruled and dominated in a 5-0 fashion for the side of Marquette, and they score here early once again. Villanova yet to find any sort of rhyme or reason or rhythm in this series since game number 2 ended.
And this is now 6 unanswered goals for Marquette, but Villanova finally getting on the offense after a significant drought from the last game. Riles taking down 1 Marquette player in Nito. 30 seconds off the clock, though, and thankfully for Villanova, they have not conceded 3 times already, but this one's getting a little bit close for comfort. Somebody's got to get up for that. Ops almost makes the play. Villanova, well, it's slow to get up in the air for that ball, but they will get it past the midfield line here and hopefully buy themselves a little bit of time to get set up. Oh, that is a what a save! And it will end up in the net, but what an effort from Ops there.
Wow, I mean, that was, again, that could have been one of the best saves I've seen all day long. And it might have been one of the most crucial saves all day long as well, especially still having to win one more game in order to force this to a game number 5. But now Villanova being able to tie it up. That's the first time they have scored since the game number 2. Game number 3, they went scoreless, 0-5. Here inside of this game, they finally get a little bit of rhythm going. They finally get themselves back on the map. Now they can play with a little bit more confidence, knowing that they are tied at 1-1 and not down 0-1.
I will actually say, on a bit of a related note, I feel like Marquette has shown me the best saves that I've seen all day. With Nito, I believe Nito had one falling off the backboard in order to save a ball that was careening towards the net after missing the backboard clear, and then again with Ops making that diving save in front of the net, not giving up on the play. Villanova still in striking range, and that was the most literal sense of a handoff you can get in Rocket League. Zen somehow finds Riles to the back of the net.
Yeah, you're right, handoff. that's the best thing I can say right there. You were
bumper to bumper.
Correct. That was just a nice little 2-2 tap, boom, boom. 1-2 action right there, and another goal for Villanova.
They have the lead now in this series. Once again, they need this win in order to have a chance at that top 2 spot, and Riles puts another one on target, a hat trick, and a reverse goal. I'm assuming it might have been a little bit of some cheeky motion here, but either way, a good shot.
Indeed it was. Riles, with the pass one, I mean, I'm looking at this Marquette side, and the only way they've been able to beat this Villanova team so far is been able to get out to a hot start where Villanova then has to play their cards correctly and not make any mistakes. The way Villanova have been playing is where they are willing to make some mistakes in order for them to succeed. But when they have to play a perfect game of Rocket League, it becomes a lot harder for them, and that's when you see the games like
God.
Well, all right then.
Do you even want to try talking?
No.
I've had the same experiences, you know. It's like we can talk about, you know, analytics and stuff all we want, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's really the Riles show, to be honest, because 4 goals, oh my goodness, all to himself. What a hog, to be honest. Like, Riles, come on, share. Caring, he's caring, but I think Villanova might actually be perfectly happy to let Riles have all the goals as long as they can pull off this win. That was a close call, and I bet that Marquette are going to want that one back because that was pretty free.
That was completely free, and I don't know if you saw what happened, but a teammate bump actually led to that goal being open, and just a miscue of a shot, a misfire, allowed for the side of Villanova to get that clear somehow, some way. And now, with a 4-1 lead, 2 minutes and 13 seconds left, still a lot of time, but Villanova are having to be feeling confident about themselves right now.
Oh, absolutely. With a major, well, not necessarily a major shot advantage. Oh my goodness, that one off the post. Are you serious? I thought that was going to be in for certain, but it just shows what I know. Under 2 minutes, shot on target here. JFG denies, but Villanova, once again, that shot advantage. 4-7 now, or sorry, 10-7. Oh my goodness, cash to math. Well, that's where it stands presently, a minute and 40 on the clock. They can just afford to waste time up until the end of the series here.
Nito, shot towards the left side now, 1 minute and 30 seconds left, time ticking down. Marquette needs to go now. Villanova, again, they're trying to get their record back to an even 500 at 3-3. Now Riles takes another one, 5 goals on the game, 1 away from a double hat trick here, and that would be something spectacular for sure. But again, Marquette, if they lose this, they'll go, I believe, to 2-3. Then they'll have to claw themselves back out of a hole. But I believe this also is going to allow for the side of DePaul to be guaranteed inside of the top 2 as well.
I don't think quite yet. Actually, yeah, because Villanova will be... Okay, yeah. I think you're right there. The Xavier will be the only other team in this tournament. Oh, sorry, this group. My bad. Will be the only other team in this group that has 2 losses. That would be guaranteed second place for DePaul if Villanova wins, which is looking rather likely at this point. 50 seconds to score 4 goals is not really good odds here. Marquette desperately struggle to put shots on target here. That one denied by Riles. No chance. Coming back in though, could move into center, but there's I'm a Horse to touch it away. Just before the blue player got to that ball, is trying to make the 1v1 play, flicks around 2, I'm a Horse, does it all by himself, bicycle goal, and finally somebody other than Riles has put a goal on the board.
This is beautiful. A little solo play past 3 defenders, absolute hot shot. I am a Horse, coming out, and showing everybody why Villanova continues to be a 500 at least team and be stronger than this Marquette squadron.
Now I'm looking to see if Riles can get the double hat trick and send us to Brazil. That's the real question. Of course, everybody knows. Nito taps, run up high. Final 10 seconds, rapidly approaching. There's the sound. To the corner. Send off the back wall. Where's Riles? So it's going to be I'm a Horse to take the shot, but Nito blocks it out anyways. I want Riles to get that double hat trick, but it's not going to happen. The ball hits the ground. Villanova, however, are not concerned with that double hat trick. They have managed to secure this series 3-1. Very well done indeed. And now we have 2-3-3 teams. Or sorry, Marquette at 2-3 so far. Xavier 3-2. Villanova 3-3.
One thing I will say, Villanova came back with a vengeance in that game. They got shown up in game number 2. Well, game number 3. In game number 4, they came back and they did exactly what Marquette did to them. They, quite frankly, embarrassed them in some way, shape, and form. A great way to win the series, though. That's got to boost your confidence to win the game number 4, 6-1 after you got shut out. What was it, either a 5-0 or a 6-0 win for the side of Marquette? Either way, absolutely beautiful. But I believe that does take us to our third to last game of the night. It's going to be St. John's going up against Marquette. Marquette will be trying to bring themselves back to 3-3. This will all be when we come back from a very short break, folks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the EGFC Big East Invitational LAN right after this.